Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, your one and only host,
the Cosmic Jedi.
I just finished watching the Woman-King movie. All I can say is check it out, man. Check it out. I'm thankful that I enjoyed it. I was worried about it when I started hearing all the different background chatter that it wasn't really fully produced by an all African, Afro-descendant, African-American, African-Caribbean, all brown melanin team. Understandably so. It's Hollywood, you know. Money is money. That's the language these people understand in Hollywood. Money is money. Whether they do historical inaccuracy or they throw in some extra spices of lies and whatnot, nobody care. They're here to make their money, man. It would be nice to know how the cast members truly feel. All the interviews I've seen are typical interviews. They're standard Hollywood interviews. You want to get sound bites for your show, your channel. Me, I would like to have a one-to-one with all the cast members, all the dahomey actors and actresses, just to sit down and see how they really felt about the movie. Was everyone approached individually, or did they all audition for it? Did they just take this as another job, or were they passionate about it? Were they happy to tell this side of the story? Were they upset with some historical inaccuracies? Because there are some, and that's understandably so with the way these kind of movies are done in Hollywood. I'm not saying this movie doesn't have its cons. Oh, it sure does. As much as its pros, it has its cons. There's some things where I didn't like when I saw the dahomey fighting against other people who look like them in terms of brown versus brown, Africans versus Africans. I'm not saying that isn't part of our history. Every people on the planet fought in some way, shape or form to an extent. But visually, what we're used to seeing these days over and over again with certain tropes in movies from Hollywood. Even in the first Black Panther movie, Wakandans fighting amongst each other because Killmonger came here and they felt, oh, he's doing something that T'Challa didn't do, so therefore we'll fight against each other. Those things don't make sense to me. Now, based on the context of the movie, I understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand why certain fights took place between the Oyo people and the Agoje. But still, I'm always very mindful about those visual rituals. And sometimes some people get put off seeing movies like this. It's like, is it another black on black? Yeah, no, if they're fighting each other, I don't want to see it. Because some people just sometimes want to see us beat any outside invading force, any enslavement force. Any people want to play games with us, say want to start selling you or trick us and whatnot. Imagine how many years we've seen movies where we have always been at the end of someone's boot, blade, sword, always depicted as please save us, or someone come and save us. So there's some aspect of this whole, I don't want to spoil it per se. What I definitely want to get across is definitely check it out. This movie has good bits in it. Powerful scenes with Viola Davis for sure. Powerful scenes, action scenes. Hey, some of the fight scenes rival the fight scenes in Wakanda Forever. Some of the fight scenes and the choreography rival that movie, and that's one of the many reasons, shall I say, I didn't enjoy Wakanda Forever. There's some fight scenes were very dull based on based on Okoye and the Dora Milaje. Dull. Even though they said they were inspired by the Dahomey Amazon, and even then the choreography was good. But when you hear there's a second one coming out, you're thinking, okay, cool, they're gonna get some serious choreography, in place. The fight scene's gonna look sharper and more crisp, despite the challenges that come their way. Because I know the people they were fighting weren't necessarily human; they were superhuman to an extent. But at least with this movie, you could feel that they didn't just throw actresses and stunt women to just do some nice fight scenes, make it look cool. It looked real. If to an extent I was thinking to myself, if they did a side story for some of these characters, I would watch it. If some of these characters were made into a game, I would play it. Everyone looks good. Everyone looks nice and shiny and crisp and rich. Whatever camera settings they used to make the melanin pop, it popped. It was popping. John Boyega playing the king, he did a good enough job. His accent, questionable. I'm not even going to bitch and complain about the accents with the actors or actresses, because not everyone was born on the continent and not everyone knows how to bend their tongue, whether they're born on the continent or not. Some of us are very good at doing accents outside of our natural tongue. I still respect people who took up the job and did the best that they could. For what we got from this movie, good job. This movie has some nice, memorable moments, very, very sharp dialogue in some scenes as well. Viola Davis, she ate the scene up, boy. She ate her scenes up, and everyone else got to breathe too. So it wasn't a thing of let's focus on Viola Davis only because she's the big A-lister. There were other A-listers there as well, but it's not about A-lister and non-A-lister. I got drawn to other characters as well, and at some point I was so attached to Viola, I was like, okay, let me see other people's characters, so let me see what else they have to offer. But every time the camera would switch them doing their own thing, was good to see it. I got past the accent thing quickly because it's not something I came here to see. I didn't want to watch a movie to see how good these actors would do the accents. Movie is watchable. It's not like it's a bad movie or it's slow. It's fast paced. Action is on point. Other fight scenes I enjoyed more, and the fight scenes I enjoyed more was when they were fighting against the enslavers or the slavers. I enjoyed those fight scenes a lot more. Too short. But in terms of the choreography and the action when the Dahomey or Agoje were fighting the Oyo people. Very well done. Very, very, very well done. So that's my little 2 cents on the Woman King. If you got time, go and check it out. Just to get a taste of what's being done by Viola and her team of actors and actresses that worked with her as well. They did a great job in my opinion. For me, I enjoyed it. It was very satisfying. Like I said, there are things I loved about it and things I did not like about it. But that's it in any and every movie I've watched so far. As with any other human being. It depends. Some other people just love a thing without seeing the flaws or seeing any issues. But at least calling out certain things that they really work well for the movie, it's good for future project. When it comes to us telling our stories, we can then say this is what worked for so and so movies, and this is what we've learned from it. Let's not repeat the mistakes they made and then, go down the same rabbit hole. So where you find positivity or success, take from it. And yes, it wasn't fully funded by all brown people. Fine, it's Hollywood. It's Hollywood. Hollywood's run by some Nigerian woman and Tanzanian man. No. So I'm saying that to say we know where the money's coming from, and that shouldn't stop us from seeing this movie or movies like these. And I think from now on we need to start being very honest with ourselves as to what to start doing from here and then, so we're not back and forth about who's in charge of the movie or who's funding the movie, or whether it's a non-African, whether it's a European. Doesn't mean this conversation hasn't been had already, but it's now high time we are in charge of our own storytelling. No more waiting for Hollywood or Nollywood or even approaching Bollywood or China or Japan. They're doing their job, doing their thing, just like Bollywood is doing their thing. I feel it's necessary for us as a collective people on the planet to find a way to put together resources in a team, so that way we're not putting any burden on Nollywood. I don't want to say Nollywood should because it's an African or Nigerian base. No. There has to be other studios out there that rival, or not even rival Nollywood, but they can produce great movies and tell great stories, and we'll do our best to make sure we're historically accurate and not taking liberties of our own history. Instead of waiting for Hollywood to do better, or no, it's even wrong to even ask who's Hollywood. Hollywood is doing their thing. They're here making their money, chopping their money. They will lie here and there. They will twist the story, make themselves look like heroes. Hey, that's what they do. It's the trope. They've been doing it for a while now. But I personally wouldn't rely on them being historically accurate or truthful or honest. I will not rely on them to do that. I rely on us to do that. Nor will I rely on Hollywood, nor Bollywood, or Japanese or Chinese movie productions. If Nollywood wants to get serious in terms of telling our story properly, without any insult to African spiritual traditions and cultures and whatnot, doing it properly, then I feel they should have a separate division. And there must be other, companies out there on the continent that can do something like this, something as good as this, if not the same level, or if not better. And it's not here for the sake of comparison, but just saying, hey, there are some aspects of this story that didn't really make historical sense. Some things I felt were not truthfully done. But instead of not seeing the movie because of that, I'll say no. See the movie. See what you enjoy from it, what you like about it. Have discussions, have conversations. What do you feel we can do to improve on it? What do you feel we can do to change? And what can we do to add to our library of movies done well? So go and check it out. Let me know what you think about The Woman King, and we shall discuss at a later date. I definitely want to do a deep dive or a minor breakdown. There are some scenes I love, some dialogue that was just straight up direct, no indirect, no cutting around the corners, no going around the corners, just straight up like a spear, sharp and on point. I have been your one and only host,
the Cosmic Jedi, signing out.